It is a G and C E to desire socialism with capitalist desire.
Capitalism is in the mode of thought itself.
It reveals itself in the preposterous reification of psychology.
As if psychology is discrete and ontologically distinct from ideology.
It is in the capitalist mode of thought to keep things separate.
To keep the particular from the totality.
To keep us disunited so that its own servants,
sly capitalist priesthood of managers and entrepreneurs of every variety, can unite us again.
Serve their cause and their class.
The power elite.
So, despite all the lofty leather-chaired philosophical work on the mind-body dualism, the representatives of Clarkian culture can't put the world back together again.
It is the task of the pragmatizers, the relativizers, the ultimate interpreters, explainers, and other imposters and official thinkers of the land of the free to perpetuate and reproduce the psycho-mythology of reified self-mind. Marx is still young, but old chestnut that the philosophers have only interpreted the world. The point is to change it is embedded in a nexus of dialectics. It is a G and C to see it merely as a gung-ho call to arms. It is rather a statement about the nature of reality, a denial of the separation of man-woman from revolutionary practice.
Interpretation is the evident lack of an activist epistemology. It forces us into an act of interpretation consumption, an act which is simultaneously close but distant to reality. This is the commodification of reality. As a full-time epistemological tourist, you were least able to intervene upon reality historically. because the reification of mind in itself and the commodification of reality prevents it. It is a G and CE to try to realize an activist epistemology by luxurious abstract jousting. Rather, it is in the day-to-day struggles of all of us together, using our social base, which is our practico-critical foundation, to deny the metaphysical webs of capitalist relations.
Empiricist, specificity, or Bruce Boyce as junior executive, tough wunderkind version of Juddean specificity establishes particularity but mystifies it, since it denies particularity in totality. Thus it plays into the hands of the cultural mandarins, rationally self-interested reductionist empiricists, like artists, have minor detail adjustment free will, insofar as they remain self-interested alone, and without the class for itself, struggle. Capitalist cognition must be denied for the dialectical form of particular in totality. Deadly and monodic, fragmented minds transfixed by the law of contradiction. He or not P, you or me, not you and me, can be struggled against by first seeing myself as a social institution, an historic process, component of historical reality. Again, assurance is based on not the G and CE of aggrandizing and individuating self, but on developing significant organizational forms. 2, 3, 4.
Let's look at the capitalist mode of thought.
It is a GNCE to regard language as a classless means of communication. Language belongs to the managers.
Capitalist material relations transfix our social relations
Into discrete commodities. Our individual particularity gets transfixed into reified mind or self. This mind attributes psycho-properties to itself, a mad attribution often called believing. A belief is an approximated correspondence between daft, reified mind and the fetishized social reality of commodities. Conscious guiding of history,
by material change gets mystified because
non-sensuous interpretation insidiously transforms us all into tourists, bus tour contemplators of a world not of our own making.
We must ferociously attack attempts to generate assurance based on aggrandizing self. Assurance must be based on understanding the significance of organizational forms. We must ferociously attack so-called institutionalized egalitarianism. It is a liberal smokescreen which attempts to replace activist content with liberal structure. We must ferociously attack our social base here in New York. It is deep-rootedly deformed. And corresponding temptations of public relations life. We must ferociously attack the concept of sociality organization. They are a GNCE of left-leaning thinking. They reveal the death of capitalist taxonomy, which of course in turn reflects capitalist material relations.
We must ferociously attack.
We must ferociously attack.
We must ferociously attack.
Attempts to generate assurance based on aggrandizing self.
On aggrandizing self.
On aggrandizing self.
Assurance must be based on.
Must be based on.
Must be based on.
Understanding the significance of organizational forms or
Organizational.
Organizational.
we must ferociously attack.
We must ferociously attack.
We must ferociously attack.
So-called institutionalized egalitarianism.
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 It is a liberal smokescreen.
A liberal smokescreen.
Liberal smokescreen.
Which attempts to replace
Activist content.
Activist content.
activist content with liberal structure.
Structure. Structure. Structure. Structure. Structure. Structure.
We must ferociously attack.
We must ferociously attack.
We must ferociously attack.
Our social base here in New York.
A social base here in New York.
In New York.
It is debrutedly deformed.
Debrutedly deformed.
Debrutedly deformed.
Deformed by
Self-images.
Self-images.
and corresponding temptations of
Public relations life.
Public relations life.
public relations life.
We must ferociously attack.
We must ferociously attack.
We must fer... You made me stop.
This next gross and conspicuous error is a look at the capitalist mode of thought. It is dedicated to phenomenologicalistic art critics, whoever and wherever they may be. In addition, it is also dedicated, at this same time, to Ludwig Wittgenstein, a noted German philosopher who was responsible for having said, "You cannot be a philosopher and a communist at the same time."
It is a GCE to regard language as a classless means of communication. Language belongs to the managers. Capitalist material relations transfix our social relations into discrete commodities. Our individual particularity gets transfixed into reified mind or self. This mind attributes psycho-properties to itself, a mad attribution often called believing. A belief is an approximated correspondence between daft, reified mind and the fetishized social reality of commodities. Conscious guiding of history by material change gets mystified because non-sensuous interpretation insidiously transforms us all into tourists. Bus tour contemplators of a world not of our own making.